Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Chronicles of an EDNP. My even episodes will always have topics on all things nursing. My odd episodes will always have case presentations, and I have this displayed on my channel page so that you know what to look forward to. So this episode we're going to be talking about nursing school applications. What inspired this episode is I know that around this time is the deadlines for a lot of bachelor's degree program. So that's going to be our focus in talking about nursing school applications. So most nursing schools have two deadlines. So they have an early decision deadline and then they have a regular deadline for all other applications. Now, early decision deadline is usually November 1st, and the deadline for all the other applications is usually January 15th, anywhere from January 15th all the way through March, middle of March. And really the early decision deadline is, the purpose of that deadline is for people to is for the admissions team to start to review apps and select and look for more qualified candidates. Now, for people who are applying, the purpose of this deadline is for you to submit your applications and know or figure out where you're going by December 1st. So early deadline is November 1st. Usually they let you know anywhere from December 1st to the end of December. Some people find out right before Christmas or after Christmas that they got in, and it's good to be able to plan ahead to know what you're going to do next. So late deadline is for the rest of the other people who could not make it to the early decision deadline on November 1st. Now, I recommend, if you're applying to nursing school and maybe your application is not so strong, apply through the early decision deadline. And this is because the admissions team, you give the admissions team an opportunity to start to look at your application and review your application and consider you before they start to consider the more qualified candidates that might submit their applications later. Also, that way they can see your application first, and you can find out where you're going, and you can find out whether you're accepted or waitlisted early so that you can plan ahead. Now, there are 3 nursing application components that compile or compose nursing applications, which make a weak or stronger applications. Now, those 3 components are GPA, grade point average, clinical experience, and extracurricular activities. So let's talk about GPA. Most nursing schools look for a GPA of 3.5 or better, and they divide it into 2. So they divide it into overall GPA, and then they also divide it into science GPA. So they're looking for 3.5 or better for science GPA and overall GPA. Now, clinical experience are things like CNA, which is a certified nursing assistant, volunteer experience, healthcare facility volunteer experience, being a paramedic or a EMT, emergency medical technician, or just anything in healthcare that gives you exposure to nursing. That's the second component of the application. Third component of the application is extracurricular activities. So these are things like leadership experience, maybe teaching assistant experience while you're in college, you were a TA, being a leader of an organization in college. So maybe you were the president of the golf club, maybe you were the president of the African Cultural Association. So things like that. Other things in extracurricular umbrella are things like honors. So maybe you were given an award or an honor for academic achievement. You were voted best worker at your job. So these are the things that compose or compile a nursing school application. Now, let's talk about coursework. That's another component of your application or getting prepared to apply to nursing school. Now, generally, most nursing school require basic sciences. So there's 3 categories they require. They require basic sciences, they require liberal sciences, and then they require general education, courses in general education. Now let's talk about basic sciences. So essentially they're looking for a course in microbiology, 2 classes, so Gen Chem 1 and Gen Chem 2, so General Chemistry 1 and 2, with the lab. They're also looking for organic chemistry 1, either that or biochem with lab. They're also looking for anatomy 1 and 2 with lab. Now, those are your hardcore sciences that you need, that are your prerequisites in order to get into nursing school. Now, let's talk about the liberal sciences. Now, the liberal sciences kind of help you, they kind of give you exposure to human sciences, explanation for human behavior, different cultures and developments. These are around 5 classes, which are 3 credit hours each. These courses vary by institution, but you can generally find the equivalent in most colleges and universities, most community colleges and four-year universities. These classes are classes like psychology, human development, nutrition, world religion, statistics. Now, statistics is a weird one. It may or may not require, depending on which colleges you're applying to or which nursing schools you're applying to. All right, last category is general education classes. This class is usually around 7 classes, anywhere from 3 to 5 credit hours each. Nursing schools require this because they're looking for a well-rounded education, cultural exposure, and basic writing skills. Contrary to popular belief, you will be doing a significant amount of writing in nursing school. So writing is a very important skill to learn, more especially APA. When you get to nursing school, you will become so proficient at APA because everything that you write is going to be required in APA format. So I would suggest before you get there, try to master it in some way, shape, or form. So these gen ed classes generally consist of writing classes. Usually it will be something like English Communication 1 or English Composition 1 and 2, psych classes or psychology classes, sociology classes, world cultures, creative arts. Like when I was doing my prereqs for nursing school, I took a dance class that also fulfilled the requirement. Generally, in my opinion, if you pick up the phone and call a recruiter or walk into a recruiter's office, they generally will have a list of classes that fulfill the requirements, so that as you're taking classes, you're not taking classes that you don't need, and you can take classes that you really need. Now, let's talk about clinical experiences. So for a certified nursing assistant certification, that is something that you can do over a summer before you even apply to nursing school, maybe over a summer while you're in high school. It's a 6-week course with clinicals, and you take a board exam and pass. It's fairly easy, and you can work with that license or work as a CNA in a hospital setting or a nursing home setting, and that could give you exposure to nursing, and it looks excellent, very great on your application because you now have been exposed to nurses, and you kind of have an idea what being a nurse is like. Another clinical experience you could definitely get and obtain before applying to nursing school is an EMT license. This is usually a 2-year associated degree program, so more extensive, longer coursework. It also comes with clinicals. These people are basically first responders out in the community. They ride ambulances, they respond to calls in the community or emergencies, and take patients into hospital. They do treatment at the back of the ambulance on the rig, and then transport these patients to hospital. So that's generally what an EMT is, and you can definitely get that experience to be able to use on your applications for nursing school. Last one that I know of is a pharm tech. Depending on your state, it's very easy to obtain a pharm tech license. The thing that is not as easy to obtain, though, is the certification, pharm tech certification, which you have to go to school for, get some coursework under your belt, and then take a certification exam. Last thing is volunteer at a hospital. That's probably the easiest one to do amongst all of those, and doesn't really require any prerequisite. You can walk into a hospital. Some bigger hospitals, like university hospitals, have a longer process of application to be a volunteer. Actually, one more clinical experience you can do is LPN. That's a licensed practical nurse. That's probably the best amongst all these clinical experiences. Some high schools actually offer LPN coursework or LPN courses, or will send you to LPN school for free while you're in high school, and that really gives you the most exposure to nursing. It really prepares you to be a nurse. And you take a certification exam and you pass and you're licensed and you can work prior to applying to nursing school, and even while you're in nursing school. What are nursing schools looking for? So they're looking for highly motivated candidates that have shown some type of resiliency in their pre-nursing experience, ability to conquer diversity, high achievement, which falls back to your GPA, because nursing school is very stressful, very challenging, and nursing as a career can be very high stress. So nursing schools really are looking for candidates that show or display all those qualities. All right. This sums up the episode on nursing school applications. I welcome all feedback. If you guys have any questions for me, please email me at chaitheedmp@gmail.com. Again, chaitheedmp@gmail.com for any questions or suggestions or anything. Thank you for watching, and please click the link below to subscribe.